So, let us start with this journey today. First liner is evolve yourself by yourself. Isn't it? Doesn't it look crazy? So the yourself or the self is used many a times in this verse, in this principle. And when we say evolve yourself by yourself, now we are opening up and you start thinking of it. So evolve your real self by the self. And here the self, the second yourself, is the mind and the intellect. First self is the real self, our true nature. It is pure consciousness, which is of the nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, wisdom. And the second self is mind and the intellect. So we can easily access our mind and the intellect. You are listening to me through your mind. You are understanding through your intellect. Mind and intellect are the inner instrument. What are the outer instrument? Sense organs. Through the sense organ I perceive you. So why the Master has said this? What it means? And if I want to evolve, what should I do? How should I do? So there are a lot of questions. This is how we have to think. So we are applying the second principle out of the 4 steps to know the principle as it is and to contemplate and reflect. Evolve, self, means the real self that is never changing, that is eternal, that is everlasting. We are fundamentally of the nature of peace and happiness. What it means? That I am peace and happiness. I am love. I am truth. I am wisdom. No, I don't believe it, so let you believe pending inquiry. We are inquiring. So don't block your mind. So who blocks? Oh, mind blocks me, but why? Next question. Mind? This is something new principle. You have never been to this principle. Can I understand it? So who understands it? It's mind and intellect. So why there should be a doubt? Why there should be an anxiety over it? No, I know I've been living in stress for so many years. You gave an example of MRI. You went through it. You have been following the practice. You get a glimpse of it. What glimpse? That outer situation, condition can influence you and cannot influence you. Choice is there. See that. So going through an MRI did not at all posed and caused you any anxiety, duality and a conflict. This time. So it means there is something deeper. It also means the mind and the intellect was aware while you were going through the MRI and prevented the outer condition to influence your mind and intellect. You see, it's just whatever you speak, I will refer to that. So we are still thinking. So the conclusion is, can mind and the intellect live into that state where the outer influences becomes negligible? That is what you experienced. But I want this mind and intellect should live into that state forever. So when it lives forever, whether you are talking to Louis or talking to David, talking to Eric, or your relations or your friends, your mind and the intellect lives into that state and responds. See, it is a knowledge practice. It is to be done 24/7. Yes, that seems to be a good plan. That is how we say in American way. That looks like a good American plan. Okay, but now I have to understand what causes the mind and intellect not living into that state. When I understand it, when I know it, I can evolve myself. That is the first liner. Evolve yourself by yourself. So I gave you the pen to be very clear. Evolve your real self, your true nature by mind and the intellect. So that mind and intellect is also known as self. We refer, I am in anxiety, I have stress, I am very happy, coming from the mind. Clear? Understanding? Yeah. So now the question is, why the mind and the intellect do not live into that state, reflecting peace and happiness from my real nature? That's a big question. My mind is not the same all the time. That is what we say. And my mind dictates the intellect and I lose wisdom, I enter into delusion. My mind does not remain same all the time. I love my son, but that love becomes emotional and ultimately causes problem to me. It bounces back. What should I do? How should I approach this mind? A lot of questions. So that is how we need to think. The moment you think in a right way, that is what the contemplation is. You keep your mind fixed on that goal. So we had lot of questions. So we are understanding the very nature of the mind and the intellect. The very nature of the mind and the intellect is guided by commitment. Yes, commitment. Let me explain that commitment. Habitually, I have a commitment to take a cup of tea. So it creates a kind of an obsession sometime, or it doesn't create it. Commitment to what? So, commitment to what? It means the intellect must find out what is the goal of my life, what is the purpose of my life. Am I committing to it? That will give me a right choice, or that will give me a wrong choice. I gave you an example of this beautiful women. I just had the online session from Europe. Who is disturbed by the noise of the kids in a football field from a school in which she is working. So now see, the mind is influenced by what I like and what I dislike. I dislike the noise created by the kids. Fact. She is a wonderful woman. She is very kind. I asked her, do you like kids? Yes, I love kids. She is a single woman. Yes, I like kids. But you dislike their action. So how that is possible at the same time? When they perform an action, you are unhappy. When they don't perform an action, you are happy. And you are a teacher. So mind has committed, made a choice with what I like, what I dislike, and what is pleasant to me. We go a little deeper. Same thing happens in our relationship. In anything, that is how the mind behaves. You broke the relationship with your previous couch, now you have the new one. We are always associated with something, some object, people, place, time, all the time. We always live in relationship. But that relationship is guided and dictated by the mind with a commitment, what I like, what I dislike, and what is pleasant to me. We are stuck here. Right? If you behave like this, I like you and I love you. David, if you behave like this, then only I like you and love you. But if you don't behave the way my mind likes, I'm unhappy with you. We are talking of this. Clear? Are you clear? Goal is to evolve self by self. You see, the main principle is that. Now question comes, I like these fish today, and after a week I hate it, so I throw it. Now question is, does my mind live in peace and happiness by liking and disliking? That is constantly moving in my life. My mind gives me the inputs of likes, dislikes, victory, defeat, profit, loss, pain, pleasure, based on likes and dislikes and what is pleasant. This life is the crazy life. Majority of people in the world, in any country, mind is more or less the same. Their goal, their commitment to the life is based on what I like, what I dislike, and what is pleasant to me. Conclusion? Now I'm fed up with you and ready to divorce. The guy whom I loved, I dated for years together, I declared amongst all my friends and relations, look at my soulmate. Now it is soulmate. You can find in your life 1 million examples. I like, I loved you. I dislike, I hate you. At one time, I like you that made me happy in relationship. Now, I dislike you, the divorce will make me happy. with anything, with everything in the life. Is this the goal of my life? How many times I did it in my life? How many times I entered into the stress? We can count on if you start looking at your life. Dislike, reaction, blame, complaint, obsession, obsession, craving, desire. My goodness. Is this the way to live my life? So this is known as, when people fix this as a goal in life, this is known as the path of prayers. Prayers means what is pleasant, what I like, what I dislike. That is the way I should live in my life. That is the way I should live my life. So our master says, do you have any other option? We tell people, if our relations are crazy, becoming angry, agitated, we pat on their shoulder, calm down. We'll sit and discuss. So because the mind finds an option, intellect accepts it, and then we calm down. Our anger is gone the next moment. So here the intellect makes the right choice. But sometimes it makes a choice out of fear. You just have a habit of becoming angry, and I became angry over you, but I know that you are stronger than me. At last you may harm me, and someone pats on my head and the shoulder says, no, calm down, we'll talk to her. So I calm down because of the fear. Sometimes I dominate. I calm down because I'm your mom. Why don't you listen? So Master says that there is a path of Shreyas. The word Shreyas means my intellect knows what is right and good in relationship with you, in relationship with anyone, in getting associated with anything in the life. I am aware, the intellect is clear. It is not picking up the feelings of like and dislike. What is right and good? Right and good is the natural properties of the real self. That is everlasting. So what I'm saying to the intellect? Follow the self. Don't follow the mind that is causing likes, dislikes, craziness, obsession, duality, conflict. That is your experience. That is our daily experience. So it means we are ready to evolve when the intellect and the mind is pure, purified. I have discussed in detail. I have talked in detail what are the impurities of the mind and how to purify the mind. So the Master says, the moment I have a purified mind and the intellect, the mind will not be obsessed and will not dictate the intellect to make a choice. What to make a choice? That choice comes from the commitment. So it means my intellect is committed to evolve, to discover peace and happiness within me. I will not stop until the intellect says and declares that I am happiness, I am peace, and I am love, I am wisdom. In any situation, in any condition, if we live our life with that commitment to the Shreyas, the life transforms. This beautiful woman was asking a question, but it is taking a long time. I think you are responsible. I gave you all the principles in one session. It is who is you? The negative mind. You have to, not the purified mind in intellect. From today, that purified mind in intellect, follow the self. That is the end of our sessions. We will meet, no doubt, 10-15 minutes, but you are responsible for it. That is taking the time, not me. My every session is 100% complete. You pick up one thing, you stick to it. Does your mind has a commitment? And then she started smiling. I said, now I know the answer. It's not me. I'm not pulling you. I'm not pushing you. Now, second is more important. Never degrade yourself by yourself. What that means, the first yourself is the real self. Second yourself is the mind and intellect. That mind and intellect is obsessed with what I like, what I dislike, what is pleasant to me, and that is I am living habitually, I am living mechanically. I have very strong likes and dislikes. I am ready to fight. I am ready to get angry. I am ready to react. I am ready to get emotional. All the wonderful qualities of the mind and intellect. I have no time to take a right decision. So I create a false self in front of my real self. Real self, this is the false self created by the mind and the intellect, living a life of prayers. So now this is hidden. Real self is hidden, this is outside. So what this false self says, I have lot of stress, I am into anxiety, I reacted, I became angry. Look at this, I is a common point. And now I goes back. I am obsessed, I have a craziness, I am always tired, I have lot of problems, I have lot of issues. See that? So this false I is the mind and the intellect, is the impure mind and intellect. So by saying that I am in anxiety, I am degrading myself. How dare you say? See that? Does any question come to your mind? Question comes, why the mind is behaving like this? Why the mind is obsessed and crazy? Why the mind likes and dislikes? Why the mind has a pleasant experiences and it wants to continue those pleasant experiences? It's a very real question. My mind depends on others in the world for the sake of peace and happiness. Come on, honey, let's have vodka and enjoy today's evening. And you are already ready to stress yourself. Who knows what your honey and the friend will say to you in a party you invited. It does not mean that you should not have a party. But the mind should not be looking for peace and happiness also. Finished. That is important. That is causing this mind to create a false self, and from the false self I always degrade myself. And compare. Oh, I'm so much, terrible. I'm living, I'm alone. I feel loneliness. So mind creates a thought, why don't you call a honey? Why don't you call Girish? Let's have a vodka together. You see? Are you free? Yes, I'm free. I have my own motivations. You have your own motivations coming from the same mind that is crazy. And I sit for a vodka in the party. I say my own opinion based on my like and dislike, which you don't like. Vodka is gone, party is gone. I should not degrade myself. I'm not saying don't have a party. That's totally different. So in the first verse, in the first line, my focus is on, the intellect is pure and that is focused on looking at the self to evolve. In the second case, I'm looking at my friend, vodka, delicacies or the food to have a permanent peace and happiness, which is not possible. Are you clear? That is the meaning of the second line. They have compressed these principles into different verses. I can speak on this at least for maybe on 100 pages. But understand the summary, understand the cream. We are extracting the cream from the... I should never degrade myself by the impure mind and intellect, which I claim this is me. What is me? Nancy is a bad woman. This is me. It is my mind. Whether she is bad or good, that doesn't make any difference. So I have already created a false self. Now I'm ready to react. My mind is not clear and empty. What I have to do with others, whether they are good or bad, high, low, let them live their life. I'm not responsible for Nancy's life. See that example. The moment your kids are born out of you, they are separate. I told you the 4 principles of the birth. See that, how they are associated, linked. Think to it. Don't degrade yourself from today at any cost. Don't put yourself down. What that means, not in relationship to the others. I am peace and happiness. Declare. The moment you have anxiety, stress, duality because of it, it will happen. It takes time to remove that. But the moment it happens, if you remember the principle, if you reflect on it, and your mind calms down, mind loosens the knots of those likes and dislikes and being pleasant, intellect receives, intellect creates a doubt. Doubt about my own anxiety, my own reaction, and it moves to the right path. What is the fundamental problem of a human mind? Fundamental problem. If you don't learn these principles, they are not in your head. The intellect is not clear. So what is the fundamental problem in our mind? We instantly believe what is wrong, what is bad, what is negative. We always keep our mind and the intellect with 100% doubt, fear, what is good in our life. One example. If someone who knows, say, example, if the Eric says, no, you have to be very careful with the Nancy, and you know that she is like this, she is like this. My mind says, believe this instantly. And if Eric says she is wonderful, she is the best mom I have, then how my mind reacts? Oh, might be he must have some motivation, some selfish interest. That is why Eric is praising Nancy. We don't believe what is good in life. And it applies to us. When I say peace is your essential nature and happiness is you, ask yourself. That is why I meet you. I always love to meet you. That's a different thing. You see that? That's why we meet. We don't believe happiness and love and Peace is my essential nature. The moment anxiety comes, you went in through the MRI with a fear and a doubt, and nothing happened. So when even nothing happened, you went through the fear and doubt, at least one thing is clear, your mind and intellect is evolving. It remain in the state of that purity at that moment. We are talking of that mind. Don't degrade yourself at any moment in life. Money will come, money will go. I tell you frankly. Money is a power of exchange. This couch will come and go. I went to my PC to Best Buy. I said, check it. Find out how long it can work. And they did everything for 2 days. They're testing. Oh, this is wonderful. We have cleared everything. It will work for another 2 years. You see that? What my mind said, at least, I saved some money. Come on, you don't save the money. Money has to come, money has to go. Whether it comes today, whether it will leave your hands today, or it will leave your hands after a year. So in applied life, we have to talk in the same way. We have to communicate in the same way. But inside, mind is clear, intellect is clear. My goal of life is clear. Show your emotions to David, Eric, everyone. But inside, the goal of life is clear. First liner. Don't degrade yourself. We are our best friend and we are our worst enemy. So that we is the mind and intellect. The self has nothing to do. The self is everlasting, pure peace, happiness, consciousness. So that we is the mind and the intellect is our best friend. What is the meaning of friendship? Tell me. What do you mean by friend? I'm your friend. So what it means? The moment you have challenges, that friend guides you, points you, helps you, supports you. This is the meaning of friendship. What is the meaning of enemy? We all know. That is ready to react, that enjoys when you are suffering. When this mind and intellect is impure, dictated by the likes and dislikes, is the worst enemy you can have in this world. Deep inside, the mind enjoys. How it enjoys? You became angry. Now the mind says, when you repent, you'll be happy. When you confess, going to the church, you'll be happy. You will never be happy. Come on. So, okay, confession is done. Repentance is done. You go back to the same guy and say, I'm extremely sorry, it happened to me. Okay, thanks God. But you are still remembering. We repeat it again. So we repeat the same old habit. We confess, we repeat, we confess, we regret, we do the same thing again. Worst enemy in mind. Mind says, don't worry, when you confess, you'll be free. So now you have confessed, you said, I'm extremely sorry. Mind at that moment feels very happy. Now you leave the scene. The mind says, I saw his eyes, my confession did not work on him. How egoistic that guy is. Now you're creating you are creating another line of thought, and that is the worst enemy. Worst. Now if Nancy says, no, you need not to come. So should I react? No. That is the way the life is. That is the way the life is. Let me recognize, accept with all the humility and move forward. So even making a confession, I depend on my happiness after confession on him or her. The mind is the worst enemy. We don't recognize it. And then we come home and see Lois, I confessed to him, and that guy, I saw him looked very crazy, It did not affect him. Come on, did you go to him to influence him? Or did you go there to change your mindset? Commitment. Change. See that? Worst enemy? No, now I want to go to him to clear my mind completely so that I will not repeat this incident, this reaction in the future again. So I am going to confess to him for myself, whether he likes, whether he dislikes. That is his part. I will plead, I will regret, I will confess, and once I return, I will find my mind and intellect is light and clear. Whatever you feel is your business, not mine. I kept my social values high. At least that guy, even if he does not accept your sorry, your forgiveness, at least he knows that Nancy is a guy who always seeks forgiveness if she has done something wrong. That is how the intellect should think. Think at every moment in life. The intellect remains pure, the mind remains pure. And when the mind and intellect remains pure, it is your best friend, and the best friend always helps you to discover peace and happiness within you. That is the meaning of the first liner. Look at it. Don't degrade yourself. So I am on alert. Coronavirus. All over, we were little bit, I was little bit late, busy in completing my last book. One more book. So I forgot to bring the sanitizer. I went to all CVS around me, 10 miles, there is no sanitizer. Should I get scared? No. So I started understanding what it means by sanitizer, alcohol, and a couple of things. It kills the germs. I went to the Costco. I bought wipes. And I bought the spray. Yeah, buy the spray. And I am always telling let us do Indian way of saying namaste. Who knows? I may harm you, you may harm me. It is not out of fear. Just with the clarity of knowledge. Clarity of understanding. Look at it. So that is the way we should live. So don't degrade yourself. So then someone told me, no, here it is sanitizer, you'll find it. I said, okay, I'll go there. But don't get into panicking. I was looking at the CNN program, Facts and Fears. They had a wonderful presentation with Dr. Sanjay Gupta from the CNN. So, one lady was also a great doctor with infectious disease. So she says, I have 20 years of experience. The fears kills you in these illnesses. Don't go by the rumors. Apply the same thing. I have a fear inside me against you that will kill me. Not fear against virus. Fear against, I have fear against every... If I say Nancy this thing, she will feel bad. So let me check. Is it right? Is it good? Is it fundamental truth? Let me say it. Finish. Now fear. Clear. So then nobody is going to emotionally blackmail you because you are clear. So you can start with from any one of the four. So you can also write down we means the mind and the intellect. Huh? Mind and intellect our best friend, mind and intellect our worst enemy. So check anytime you wake up in the morning. Does that mind is your best friend? Mind says I'm fresh. It is the same mind saying I'm relaxed. I'm calm. Mind says no, I'm into anxiety. Let me do the practice. I don't want to stretch this thought to create a false self. Second, never degrade yourself. False self, the moment you say I have a lot of anxiety, okay, I will do the practice later on, let me take a cup of tea, but my anxiety is not gone. So okay, then I go home, now I go to the workplace and then it has increased and then I end up fighting. So now my mind shifts to a person with whom I reacted. I come back home. I should have said this. I should not have said that. What is this? What is this? This is worst enemy. Instantly we can take an instant action. I'm not asking you to do a 1 hour practice, then you will be happy. Look inside here. Commitment, choice. First, I commit myself. Who commits? The intellect. So where it commits itself? Shreyas, what is right and good, not prayers. What I do? I reacted and then I returned home and my mind is still thinking about him and her. Is this commitment you're talking about? That guy is sleeping very well and I'm still thinking about that guy. So this is what we say ignorance. It happened once, the roller coaster. It goes up and down, it increases the speed, we enjoy. There is a sense of pleasure. So are you guys ready? You have belt? Yes. Seated? Fixed? Yes. Done. Now the roller coaster started. Everyone was crying out of happiness and pleasure and joy. It was 15 minutes ride. Exactly at 14th minute, the owner and the director and the manager or the technician, whatever you say, said that I cannot stop this roller coaster. So please continue. We have called the technical expert. They soon will be coming. They will fix it. And you'll always be out of this roller coaster. How the mind will react now? Is there any difference in the speed? No. You were enjoying before. Now what happens to the mind? Fear, panic, anxiety, duality. What will happen? Someone's mind is thinking, what will happen? I have already withdrawn $10,000 from the bank to pay this. What will happen to that? What will happen to my son? So you start crying now. Now it is not crying out of your pleasure, it is you are crying out. That is the false self. That is the false self. 19th minute. The expert says, yes, tech expert has found the problem and they are fixing it. So he told me that he is going to fix the problem in another 5 minutes. So hold on. You don't hold on, you're full of the panic. You're still full of the panic. Where it is happening? In the mind and intellect. Is the mind and intellect is your best friend or the worst enemy? Ask yourself. Ask yourself. Normally we receive a call from the credit cards, and in the end they say, "Oh, can I do anything for you?" So I had Chase Sapphire cards, and in the end they said, I purchased these tickets, 3 tickets for 3 destinations. And laughingly I said, "You can definitely do one thing, provided you should do this thing." No, I will definitely do it. I said, "Make my balance of the credit card 0. You asked me, so I'm proposing you." We get carried away by these thoughts. So I enjoy. Sometimes I make a joke. Okay, thank you. And then I told her, she laughed and she said, no, we cannot do this. So I told her, keep up doing the good work. Thank you. That's all. Well, you just give some compliments. At least she has done. She has found their flight, she has booked the tickets, she has sent you the email, lot of work she has done. That is the way to behave your best friend. Don't make it a worst enemy. So then it happened. The roller coaster stopped. Everyone came out of the roller coaster, and there at the counter, the beautiful women announced, "There is a big announcement for you guys. Come on." And what was that announcement? You can buy the ticket for the next, provided if you buy now, we will give you 2 free tickets. Nobody buys. I will never ride on a roller coaster, at least this roller coaster. Thank you very much. And that thank you was out of reaction. That is how our worst enemy works. And we claim that we have worked very well. But we repeat the same thing again and again. Because mind is outside, it is looking for pleasure. So I don't go to the roller coaster, I go to the skating, and I fell down. How? Then I say, person A is good, person B is not good. This is how I do it. This is how I live my life. Last thing, that if we don't know these principles, if we don't infuse these principles into our mind and intellect, the mind and intellect do not have any option. That is why teacher is required. That is why these principles are required. That is why the manual of an iPhone is required. It comes with your iPhone. Open it, work on it. So manual is here in the paper, and how to introduce that more manual, it's a light being is here. So that knowledge is customized and personalized and passed on to you. I'm simply a pointer. But if these principles are not known, not contemplated, it means that you don't think about these principles. Listening is first step. But after listening, contemplation, reflection means you think over it again and again. If you don't think, if you don't contemplate and reflect, it will not work. And followed by the contemplation and reflection, you're working on it. Then see the life, how the life moves easily, carefree, always happy. Whether a person comes to you, you are not dependent. Say for example, take an example again of It's a David. David comes to you, you express your peace and happiness. He doesn't come to you. You do not depend to solve his problem if he comes to you and says, Mom, you are good. Or when he doesn't come to you, still you don't depend on not coming to you. Are you getting it? And then see the life. Whosoever comes is welcome. Whosoever do not like to come, welcome. Why? I don't depend on these two factors. My peace does not depend on these two factors. Well, if one person says, you made me crazy, I'm sorry. I think I made sorry 1,000,000 times, even when I was not wrong. Even in the family and outside. I damn care these things. No, I'm sorry, finished. Let my mind and intellect be clear. Somebody is expecting and asking forgiveness, let me express my forgiveness. Finished. But those who are asking forgiveness will never be happy. I'm ready to give. It is with me. Not for the sake of you, but for the sake of my mind and intellect, because they are my best friend. See, the life changes. It summarizes everything that we have learned together. We have done the practice together. We have done the practice together.